Welcome to Piano 2, section 24146, Music 312. And this is an asynchronous class. I want to go over the syllabus with you in this video. All the texts and manuals will be available on the Canvas modules. Please, I hope you can print them out. And you need to have a keyboard and do your videotaping and submit the video files in the assignments in Canvas. Try to be careful not to make them mirror image. It's hard to watch when it's backwards. The objectives for the class is to play the 5-finger scales and triads in major and minor, back to major, but in all 12 keys, so you go up by half steps. Minor and major, minor and major. The next objective is the white key scales that begin on white keys that you learned in Piano 1, but this time you have to do it 2 octaves. So that hands together, and then with the scales, they're all also required to do cadences. The 1-4, 1-5-7, 1 chords, chord progression or cadence in the keys that you do those 2 octave scales in. Then we also learned the scales that begin on black keys in Piano 2. D flat, E flat, G flat, just 1 octave for this class, A flat, and B flat. They're only required 1 hand at a time. So that's a pretty easy assignment. You can get 50 points for that. And so then for the repertoire, my class, you have different tracks of commercial or classical repertoire, but you can choose from any repertoire. You can combine classical with commercial, or you can stick to commercial or just stick to only classical. Classical is a little easier repertoire, I think, than the commercial repertoire in this class. But it's up to you. I like to give you the choices for this class. Okay? The evaluation is entirely based on the successful submission of assignments from the modules in the Canvas. And the points is 500 points for an A, 444 for a B, 388 points for a C. Anything below that, you don't pass the class. You have to take it again later. There are also extra credit points that you can get to pile on to the points. And the easiest way to get the points is perform 3 pieces for your midterm. That's an automatic 50 points. And perform 3 pieces for your final. That's an automatic 100 points. Okay, so there's 150 points towards your 500 points right there. If you don't do the midterm or the final, however, 50 points will be taken away, subtracted from your point total of the others. Okay, so you have to do the midterm and the final to pass the class. It's just to do it, you get the 50 points. It's all or nothing. Okay? That's how all of my assignments are, except for a few that, depending on how you do it, you'll get a range of points up to 30 or up to whatever. Okay? And that's for the extra credit points for some of those assignments. Otherwise, it's all or nothing. Okay? You also have a choice to do your own repertoire. That's your player's choice piece. You have to get approval for me and show it to me that what you want to learn, and then you can learn that too. Okay, so that's the syllabus. The first 2 pages have everything. Then then it's like important dates and all the other stuff that you can look at for information. Okay, now the Canvas is, you probably can't see it. I have it on my iPad here. But there's modules. In the beginning, I have this video and welcome and all these other like resources to help students with Canvas and whatnot as a student at LA City College. First thing is to do is read the syllabus in the second module. We're doing that together. You can print it out and read it for yourself as well. I have a group activity. It's no credit, but just to get acquainted for each other. Since it's asynchronous, we won't see each other. But this is a way we can get to know each other in the class as well. Then we have what's called the grade sheet. The grade sheet is to be printed out as well if you'd like. All the grades will be in Canvas in your grades part of the modules, but a grade part of the Canvas, but it's also printed out here in this format for you to look at. All the technique is at the top. Then I have 6 suggested commercial repertoire pieces. Then I have more commercial repertoire pieces. Then I have the 6 suggested classical repertoire pieces. So I don't spoon feed you on your what you have to do for the class. A lot is up to you. There will be due dates for everything. However, everything will be open from the day one, and everything will be open until the end of the semester as well. So from the beginning to the end, everything is open. Since I have due dates that will show in red late, but ignore that, because as long as you get it done, you're okay before the end of the semester, okay? But I do have due dates to try to prompt you into keeping on some sort of a program where if you stay on track with those, you'll definitely get a high solid A, okay? So that's about it for this. There's the more advanced classical and more advanced commercial repertoire have a few more points. Otherwise, it's 25 points for each piece, and that's 33 for advanced classical and 30 points for advanced commercial points. And I have little numbers from 1 to 10 to show the difficulty on the grade sheet as well. So on top of Old Smoky's, only 4 difficulty out of 10. So you can maybe choose pieces that might seem easier. This is very subjective. It might seem to be easy in my evaluation. Maybe it's hard for you. You know, these are subjective things. There's a classical piece called Song that is also a low 4 for the difficulty. Okay, and so that's that. As far as the Canvas modules, I really hope you can print out the texts. It's really cumbersome and difficult to read the music from the devices that you have. So I really hope you can print these things out. Maybe I'll talk to someone at the music department. Maybe they can allow access to some sort of printing, but you can have these things printed out for you as well. Okay, so we have the commercial texts, commercial repertoire text, the classical repertoire text, and the technique requirements text. Okay, there's also I start off with 2 exercises. One is called the down-up exercise. 2-note slurs. See my wrists? Down, up, down, up, down. With just 2 fingers, the same 2 fingers. Then you go to the next 2 fingers. So it's loud, soft, down, up, and so on, like that. You go through all the pairs of fingers like that. That's one of the technical exercises that's required. We also have chromatic exercises. If you had my Piano 1 class, you know that's what that was. 1 octave. And it's the same fingers, only 3 fingers, and it's always using your 3rd finger on the black keys. And for Piano 2, however, I go 2 octaves. So it's 1 octave. So we have that one. Then we invert the C to E to E and C. And we start on our 2nd finger and do the same thing, just starting at a different stop, different point. And then we have 2 more, one beginning on G flat and B flat, and we do those in triplets. They sound hard, but they're pretty easy actually. You're accenting every 3rd. Accents are important music. And then we invert the starting point from G flat to B flat to B flat and G flat, and we start there, etc. So that's the 2 exercises that I didn't show you in the student learning outcomes that is also required for the class. I start off with a group activity too, with getting acquainted with each other, and it's no credit, but we can learn who's in the class and learn what your background is in music and so on. Okay, then there's the grade sheet to print out, the 3 texts to print out. Then we have some discussions on the technique of playing the piano and the keyboard. I call your generation the screen generation, and you're so used to playing keyboards with just your little fingertips and barely moving anything but the fingertips, right? So piano requires a different sort of technique to play this keyboard. And so we have a discussion with that. You can comment and respond to the comments. There's no credit, it's just honor system, you know, try to do it so we know you're interested in the class and learning to play the piano. There's two things about how to practice from me and Dr. Kiroff, who's also a professor, full-time professor at City College. Then I have a couple suggested practice guides or regimens when you sit down to practice. There's a guy from YouTube about productivity tips that we want to make our practice effective. And it's all about how much time you put into it. You're not going to get anything out of it if you don't put the time into it, okay? Then I have a module that has just a little bit of review of reading for rhythm and notes, and some pieces. There's duets. You play the primo part that are all the same notes, an octave apart in each hand, just covering 5 fingers. It's good for you. And then there's 10 tunes for 10 fingers that is a little easier than the duets. But if you find an advanced pianist, he can play the secondo part, the low part, and they're lovely pieces by Arthur Foote for those, okay? Then we have a module that has all the technique assignments in it. So you can close this module, and then you see the module headlines that way, and maybe it keeps it a little more concise in your Canvas, or you can open it up and it shows all the technical assignments. So you can see that the note naming sheets, that's a written file that you'll just have to scan it and submit what the 8 pages, 4 treble clef and 4 bass clef for your practice of reading music. That is required. You do get 15 points from it. I have it due February 15th. Last semester somebody did it before even the first class because it's going to be open on the first day of class. So actually we had a synchronous class last semester where we met as a class during the semester every Wednesday night. The 2 down-up exercise and the chromatic exercises. Then we have the 5-finger major and minor scales and triads. That's February 24th. So the due dates are with all of the assignments, okay? And then we have the repertoire. So you can get started on the repertoire right away if you'd like, okay? So you're going to have to make a plan for how you want to practice, make appointments for yourself, and then do it. Here's going to be a lesson on the sustain pedal and how to use the sustain pedal. It's not required for the class, but you can do it and use it, and as long as you use it correctly and well. Then here's the classical repertoire. Then you have the midterm assignments. Here's a preparation chart that helps you to prepare for your performance. Best thing is to play for your friends and enemies and family, whoever you can get to sit down and listen to you perform, make you nervous. Otherwise, a video device can make you a little nervous as well, recording yourself. Okay, we have the more classical and more commercial repertoire. You can learn it all and get 1,000 points if you'd like for this semester and get double the points required for an A. Okay, it's up to you. You can get out of it what you put into it. If you just want to squeak by with a C, you can do that as well. Extra credit assignments, scale practice tracker, the self-critique of your mid-performance. Give me a written file that you submit, and that's 10 points. Sometimes people write 3 or 4 or 5 pages, and I give them more than 10 points. Okay? Then there's the player's choice repertoire. You get an approval from me for which piece that is, and if I approve it, you can play that. You can get up to 40 points for that one. Okay? Then we have the final performance video, very much like the midterm, only you can also repeat one of the 3 pieces that you played on your midterm in the final performance. You still have to do 3 pieces in one video for the midterm and final video, so it's like a performance. And please don't stop the video and practice in between, okay? Just try to make it like a real bona fide performance in front of an audience, okay? And I also included the preparation chart for preparing for a performance for the final. That's it. Hopefully you'll enjoy playing the piano. Hopefully you'll learn a lot about playing the piano from this class. Again, you're going to have to put time into it, and I wish you a great semester.